Today we're working on a very nice gentle sequence with a bunch of poses and movements that can help improve your sleep if taken towards the evening. I also want to make sure that for today you do have a bolster as a prop or even a pillow or two just to give you more cushioning for later on in the practice, but for now just slide it off to the side. Always remember to read the description below before we get started for any tips, explanations, or even reminders. So to get started, we're going to come to that comfortable cross-legged seated position, sitting nice and tall with your palms up over the knees. Roll those shoulders up and down the back, and just let the eyes softly close. Feeling your tailbone tucked under slightly, that chest a bit puffed. Reaching tall through the crown of your head. Just follow your natural breath for a bit and give yourself the chance to really arrive on the mat and arrive in your space. Notice where the breath is at. Is it fast or short? Or is it already nice and long and smooth? Even be aware of the mind. Are you still focusing too much on the noise around you, on your daily tasks? And by acknowledging this and noticing it, we're able to kind of see where we are at for this evening, what we need to do to really try to get our minds to come into this present moment. So if you find that your breath is still very rapid, try to slow it down with nice long inhales, long exhales. Keeping your mind focused on that breath. We do acknowledge if the mind wanders, because it is almost impossible to just not think. But we want to allow our minds to come into this present moment and let go of the noise around us by simply focusing on that breath, keeping us here in this present moment. Feel every inhale and how the chest rises and falls with the breath. The inhales all the way to the top, allowing you to feel a bit more light, more calm. You're almost refueling your body with every inhale. And paying attention to those exhales, how the chest and the body deflate. Every exhale letting you feel just that little bit more relaxed. Every inhale, breathe in a bit of positivity, maybe a bit of joy. And every exhale, really release any pressure or heaviness still within you. Inhale in by visualizing that white light coming into the body. And as you exhale, any gray energy within you leaves with that breath. You're releasing what no longer serves you. Just follow that cycle for a few breaths as you breathe in the light and release any tension. Still focusing on your breath, nice long inhales, long exhales. Bringing a bit of physical sensation to our bodies. Roll those shoulders forwards a few times, nice big but slow movements. Our whole gentle practice will be nice and slow today. And roll the shoulders backwards a few. Relaxing the shoulders now with a few gentle blinks. Let the eyes open. Start by bringing your right ear to your right shoulder, right hand over to the left ear, and just tug down gently. Allowing that left shoulder to relax. Let it sink away from the ear so we get a deeper stretch. We tend to always build up and hold most of our tension in our necks, so this is that time of day where we want to make sure we're releasing it all. You can even nod your head to find the tightest point and then maybe just hold there. And release, bringing that left ear to the left shoulder, left hand over to the right ear, and again, just tug down gently. Making sure this time that right shoulder is really sinking away from the ear. Maybe nod your head again, finding that tight point and holding there. Really breathing to our necks, let it open up, let it release that tension. And coming back to center. Bring your hands to the mat in front and begin to walk them over to that left side, going in for a gentle twist. Left arm comes a bit further behind you, right hand against the knee to help push a bit deeper. Keep those shoulders nice and open so we can sit tall. Don't start leaning backwards. Make sure you're sitting nice and straight. If you have no injuries or arthritis in the neck, take your gaze to the back. If not, just keep your gaze forward. Walking your hands back to the center and over to the left, or right, over to the right this time. Right arm comes further behind you, left hand against the knee to help push a bit deeper. Still keeping those shoulders nice and open, sit tall. Again, you can take your gaze towards the back. And begin to walk the hands back to the center. Right hand comes to the mat beside you, and on your inhale, reach that left arm up, and exhale, reach over to the right side, opening up our side bodies. We really want to keep that left hip sinking down towards the mat as we reach to the right. Really allow the breath to expand the ribs and have everything around, front, side, and back open up. You can always take your gaze to the ceiling. And even if you do find that your spine is still a little bit more mobile this evening, start to open your chest up towards the ceiling. So a little bit of a twist with that side bend. And coming back to center, left hand on the mat beside you. On your inhale, reach that right arm up, and exhale over to the left. Feeling that right hip sinking down towards the mat as you reach over to the left. Breathe and expand that side body. We really want to make sure that we're taking every movement nice and slow, almost feeling graceful through the process. That allows us that feeling of floating. We feel gentle, and the more gentle we feel towards the end of the day, the more relaxed we actually become. Again, if you can feel like your spine is a little bit more mobile, start to open that chest towards the ceiling. And coming back to center. Inhale as you puff the chest forwards and start to draw a circle towards the back with your chest, rounding it when you get there. Draw those circles with your body, as big or as small as you may need. Work with your shoulder blades by squeezing them together when your chest is puffing forwards on the inhale, and pushing them apart as you round that back on the exhale. Be aware of the body. Notice any creaks or cracks that are happening, any tightness or soreness. That way we can respect all this through our entire practice. Begin to roll in the opposite direction. Feel everything really starting to warm up. That way we can warm everything up and then loosen up our bodies so we get a nice relaxed sleep. And then rolling your way back to the center, we're going to step our feet out in front of us, knees bent, and just rock the knees a little side to side. Try to keep that chest as forwards as you can, that way we don't completely turn our full body to the side, defeats the purpose. And stepping those feet a bit further apart, rocking a little side to side. Really try to press those knees down when they get to the center. And then coming back to the center, just swing your knees to one side so you can come right up to that neutral tabletop with our wrists underneath shoulders and knees underneath hips. On your first inhale, sink that stomach down towards the mat, tilt the head and pelvis up. And exhale, reach high with that mid-back, tuck the head and pelvis under. Inhale, sink, squeeze those shoulder blades together. And exhale, rise, pushing the shoulder blades apart. And continue to follow your natural breath here, really beginning to connect the breath to the movement. That's what allows us to create that feeling of flow a little bit better. So you want to make sure that your stomach is sunk to that lowest point on the top of the inhale and reaching the highest point with the mid-back on the end of the exhale. Focus on how the breath travels through the body during this movement. After your next natural exhale, come back to the center. Inhale as you open your chest to the right and reach that right arm up. Continue to breathe as we just hold here for a moment. Then begin to sit back towards the heels, reaching that right arm a little bit further behind you. And then lifting, coming back up to that neutral tabletop. On your next inhale, open to the left, reach that left arm all the way up. Always trying to twist more with your back rather than reaching your arm. Still continue to breathe. And then begin to sit back towards the heels, reaching that left arm further behind you. Lifting yourself back up to that neutral tabletop. We're going to sit back onto our heels, keep them nice and flat. If this, for whatever reason, starts to hurt a little bit too much during the next movement, just come back to a cross-legged position. You can still do the movement during this pose. Reach the arms forwards, palms facing each other. As you inhale, draw the elbows towards the body, puffing that chest, tilting the pelvis up. And exhale, reach the arms behind, swing them around to the front as you round that back, tucking the pelvis under. Inhale, arms comes towards you, gaze to the ceiling. Exhale, arms shoot back and round to the front, rounding that back, chin to the chest. Inhale forwards and exhale to the back. Inhale, come forwards. Exhale, back and around. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, exhale. One more inhale and last exhale. Coming back to that neutral tabletop just so we can tuck our toes underneath. Sit back on those heels, just a nice gentle little toe stretch. We want to open up our toes underneath the foot, even Achilles tendon, just for a moment. Even let's get our wrists moving a little bit, interlock the fingers, and roll your wrists in every direction, just getting them to loosen up a little. And then coming back to that neutral tabletop. Step that right foot out behind you, tuck the toes under, and push the heel down. This time we're going to pulse a little bit here. We just want to get a little bit of that movement, things to really warm up a bit faster rather than holding it static. Then roll to the inside edge of that right foot. As you inhale, reach that right arm up. Open the chest up towards the ceiling by reaching that right arm further behind you. And exhale, right hand comes back to the mat. Inhale back up, open the chest. Exhale to the mat. Inhale up, open the chest. Exhale to the mat. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Another inhale. Last exhale. And then you're just going to bring that right knee back in. Left foot out behind you, tuck the toes under, push that heel down. Begin to pulse a little bit. Starting to get things even more warmed up and loosened up. Still be focusing on the breath, that's why we're doing a lot of movement connected with the breath. It'll help clear our minds a little bit and slow everything down. Roll to the inside edge of that left foot. Inhale, reach that left arm up. Reach the left arm a little bit further behind as you open that chest. And exhale down to the mat. Inhale, left arm up, open the chest. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Another inhale. And last exhale, bringing that left knee back in. We're going to just step our feet towards the hands and roll our way up to standing. From here, we're going to inhale the arms up. Feel that stretch and exhale, forward fold. Bend the knees as much as you need so your palms are flat to the mat. Relax the neck. Inhale, hands to shins, lift halfway up. Squeeze those shoulder blades together for a nice flat back. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms all the way up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Here we're going to step our feet about hip-width distance apart and have our palms resting right above the butt, right beside the sacrum. As you inhale, you're going to squeeze the shoulder blades together and puff that chest. Exhale as you squeeze the glutes and push the hips forwards a bit and start to lean back. Make sure that you're reaching up with the chest. This way it helps us avoid collapsing into that low back. Either tuck the chin to the chest or allow the head to drop behind you. Still be breathing nice deep breaths. Lifting back up, bring the feet back together. Moving through a nice light flow, we're going to inhale the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. As you inhale, step that right foot back, drop the knee down into a low lunge. Make sure that front knee is right above the ankle, just resting here for 2 breaths. On your next exhale, step that left foot out behind you. Use your knees as you lower in chaturanga, just making it nice and easy. Untuck the toes as you inhale, straighten the arms to an upward facing dog. Puff that chest, squeeze the glutes. As you exhale, lift the hips, open the knees and sit back in a child's pose. Forehead to the mat, reach those arms forwards. 2 nice breaths here. On your next inhale, start to lift yourself to a neutral tabletop, stepping that right foot forwards, low lunge again. 2 breaths. Begin to tuck those back toes underneath as you exhale. Step that back foot forwards, forward fold. And inhale, arms all the way up. And exhale, hands to heart center. One more time, we're going to inhale the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, step that left foot out behind you. Drop the knee down, low lunge, 2 breaths. On your next exhale, step that right foot out behind you. Drop the knees and lower in chaturanga. Inhale, untuck the toes, straighten the arms, upward facing dog, squeeze the glutes. And exhale, lift the hips, open the knees, push back into that child's pose. 2 breaths here. On your next inhale, coming to that neutral tabletop, step that left foot forwards, low lunge. You can already be tucking the back toes underneath if you'd like. On your next exhale, step that back foot forwards, forward fold. And inhale, arms all the way up, taking a nice little back bend at the top. And exhale, hands to heart center. Stepping the feet a bit more than hip width distance apart, we're going to turn the heels in slightly. Inhale, puff the chest. And exhale, squat all the way down into Malasana. In Malasana, you want to make sure that your elbows are between the knees so they can be used to help push them apart and have your hands at heart center. Try to keep that flatter back by squeezing the shoulder blades together and just gaze forwards or even down towards the mat in front of you. We're just going to hold for a few breaths, and still using every exhale, we want to relax the body with it. That way our hips just open easier, our hips sink easier. If this is a little bit too much at any point, you can always grab that bolster, those pillows, and place it underneath your butt and just simply sit right on top of it. A few breaths here. And then from here, we're going to bring our hands to the mat and step those feet out behind us and just drop to our knees. We're going to walk each knee towards the edge of the mat or even outside of the mat. We want to make sure that our ankles are in line with the knees, not coming together in the center. This will give us a deeper stretch. From here, you're going to start to shoot your butt and your hips backwards and down as if you're trying to sit down towards the mat. If you come forwards, you'll defeat the whole purpose of the stretch. You won't really feel anything. So make sure your hips are shooting backwards and down. If you want to take it a bit further or try to relax a bit further, bring yourself down to the elbows. You can relax the neck, keep the shoulders away from the ears. If you're feeling any sharp pinches or pains, just ease up on the pose. You only want to feel that light discomfort, that gentle stretch that all of these sort of poses will give you, but don't push too far that you're giving yourself pain or developing injuries right before you sleep. Once you get comfortable in that pose, just follow back to that breath. Allow every inhale to make you feel lighter. Every exhale puts you at ease. One more nice breath. And then begin to start to lift yourself back up to your hands and just walk those feet and knees back together. We're going to bring our feet further behind us and lower ourselves all the way down to our stomachs on the mat. Bring your elbows underneath the shoulders and use this to prop yourself up. We're going to squeeze those shoulder blades together and puff the chest. Meanwhile, we want to be squeezing the glutes just like we did in that standing back bend to help activate and protect that low back. So once again, squeeze the shoulder blades as you puff that chest and squeeze the glutes. The neck, you can be gazing forwards or gazing down towards the mat, just don't crank it up to the ceiling. Holding for a nice few breaths here. We like to hold a lot of these poses because we're really trying to open up our bodies. We want to help release tension, release tightness, feel open and at ease. So that way we don't feel like we're just crunching our bodies up. We want to just relax in whatever position we want to sleep in. Now from here, if you do want to take it a bit deeper, keep the weight into your hands and begin to straighten up the arms. Follow all the same cues. Squeeze the shoulder blade, puff that chest, and squeeze the glutes. Only go to where your back is comfortable. If you feel a sharp pinch in that low back, lower to where it was comfortable, where you didn't feel that pinch. And then begin to relax the body, lowering that stomach down, and you're just going to have your hands in front of you to rest your chin or your head on. Bring your knees to the edge of the mat, bend, and then connect the soles of the feet and let them just hang. We're just going for another light, just more restorative hip opener. You can either rest your chin to the mat, maybe your forehead. But if you do rest on one cheek, just make sure you turn to the opposite cheek every once in a while. Switch it up and keep that balance. Pay attention to your breath. Lengthen it in case it got rapid. Feel every inhale as your stomach almost presses into the mat like a light abdominal massage. Every exhale, feel the body sink just that little bit further. Become aware of your breath, of your body. Still focusing on every inhale all the way to the top and every exhale all the way to the bottom. Gently, gently start to lift those feet up, bend apart, walking the knees back together and just straighten them down the mat. Use your hands to help lift your way up. Sit back on the heels, open the knees up, reach those arms forwards for child's pose. Bring that forehead once again to that mat. Always making sure that our child's pose is a little bit active. We want to make sure the shoulders drop down our backs while the crown of the head reaches forwards, actively lengthening our spine, even while our stomach sinks towards that mat. Just holding in a regular child's pose for a few breaths. And begin to slowly walk the hands over to the left side of the mat, finding that right arm reaching just a bit further. Still keeping your forehead to the mat, but we're just opening up our side body. Nice deep breaths. Walk the hands back to the center and over to the right, finding that left arm this time reaching a little bit further. And coming back to the center, you're going to bend at the elbows and touch your hands to the shoulders. Just holding here. Reaching the hands forwards again, lifting up on the fingertips so that way your arms are drawing away from the mat, holding in this variation for 2 breaths. Relax the arms and use the hands to help lift your way back up. Shift your weight to one side and simply just kick those feet out in front of you. Give your legs a little bit of a shake. And then we're going to bring the soles of the feet together, knees drop apart. Sit nice and tall and grab a hold of your feet. Take a nice deep inhale. And as you exhale, reach from that chest forwards and down. On your next inhale, lift back up and bring the knees together, working with a little bit of movement as you exhale, open the knees, pull yourself chest forwards and down. Inhale up, bring the knees together. Exhale, open them, pull yourself back down. Do about 5 or 6 of these movements, and on that last exhale, just hold in our bound angle pose. Once you're holding, Make sure that you're still squeezing those shoulder blades together, trying to keep a flat upper back. Maybe using the elbows to help push your shins down a little bit. Just holding for a few breaths here. Every exhale, release any judgment left within you, any concerns or worries that you may have. Breathe it out. You're doing you. You're listening to your body. And you're getting everything nice and open. Begin to lift yourself back up. Bring the knees back together and just let yourself rock them a little side to side. Stopping in the center, we're going to still come back to the butterfly legs. And what we're going to do from here is leave the left leg where it is, but straighten that right leg out to the side as much as you can. Here, you're going to bring your right hand to the mat beside you. As you inhale, reach that left arm up. And exhale, reach it over towards that right foot. A nice side body stretch, but we're also still opening our hips down through our adductors, through our thighs. Feeling that left hip sinking down towards the mat as you reach to the right. 2 breaths. And lifting yourself back up, bring that right foot in. And then the left foot opens out to the side. Same as before, we're going to bring that left hand to the mat. Inhale your right arm up. And exhale, reach it over to the left. Really make sure that right hip is sinking down as you reach. Even notice if one side, one thigh, one hamstring is tighter than the other. Get to know maybe what you did that day or that past week that may have led to that side being tighter. That's how we become aware of our body. Take those nice deep breaths. And lifting our way back up, bring that left knee back in, knees together, and we're going to make sure that our bolster and pillows now are within reach so we can come down onto our backs. Keep the knees bent, soles of the feet to the mat, arms down by your sides with the palms down. Your feet and knees are going to be about hip width distance apart, and as you inhale, begin to lift the hips up, squeeze the glutes as you try to lift the hips a bit higher, just holding for a moment. And then you're going to reach for that bolster or pillow and slide it right underneath your butt, right underneath your sacrum, to take a bit of a restorative bridge. Let those hips sink down over top, let them relax. But we still do want to make sure that our hips and knees are hip width distance apart and not opening up. The hands, you could decide to reach up over your head, maybe keep them down by your sides. But now if you do, turn the palms facing up so our shoulders rotate open. You can always feel free to close your eyes here a bit. But we still want to always come back to that breath once we get settled in a pose. See if it's maybe easier to take the long breaths here. Maybe it's harder in a slight inversion. Just knowing how your body works. This pose is just allowing ourselves to get the blood to flow from our feet and our legs back to our head and our heart. If you've ever done legs up the wall, you can always feel free to take that as your inversion even after this class, maybe in replacement of this pose. I know a lot of people do love that pose. I just don't have a wall near me, so if you do know it and you are used to it, you can definitely feel free to take legs up the wall. Just a handful more breaths here, deepening every inhale, the stomach and chest rise, and every exhale, the stomach and chest fall. Gently begin to lift those hips up and slide that pillow or bolster out from underneath you. Lower the hips back down. And you're gonna either roll to one side or just simply bring the knees to the chest and rock back and forth, just to come up enough, because we want to get that bolster again and place it underneath our back this time. So you're gonna bring the pillow or bolster horizontally behind you on the mat and tuck it right up against the hips. Feel free to leave the legs straight if you prefer, or you can always go back to our butterfly legs. If you've got really tight hips, I suggest you take this. If not, or if you have any hip pains, leave the legs nice and straight. We only will be doing this for a nice short few breaths, so you're gonna lean your way back over that bolster or pillow, let the head hang behind you, and open the arms up to the sides. A few nice deep breaths here, really just to allow, again, that front body to expand. You might feel it through the abdomen, even up through the diaphragm and the ribs, just opening the chest, opening the heart up. Two more nice deep breaths. And just start to bend at the knees, whether you're in butterfly legs or straight legs. Let yourself roll to one side, making it easier to lift your way up off the bolster or pillows and slide it again to the side, this time all the way off. We don't need it anymore. Come back onto your back, knees to the chest, hug them tight. Draw circles with the knees, lightly massaging that abdomen. Making sure to go in both directions, keep the balance within the body. Stopping in the center, straighten the left leg down the mat and let that right knee fall to the left. A gentle twist, but we are going to hold it for a bit. Make sure that right shoulder is sinking down towards the mat, that right arm opens up. You can always use the left hand on the right knee to help pull it down a bit, but only do so if you don't have any injuries to that low back or your spine. Notice the breath shortened here, but we can still keep it slow and controlled. Really feel yourself now, almost like you're wringing out the toxins and the tension along your back, along that spine. You're getting rid of any last bit of gray or dull energy within you. Gently start to lift that right knee back up, straighten it down the mat, bring the left knee to the chest, and let it lightly drop to that right side. Opening the left arm up, find that twist that works best. Take it nice and gentle. Make sure that left shoulder is dropping down towards the mat. Still slow and controlled breath as you feel the rest of those toxins being wrung right out. Every exhale, you might even find yourself sinking that bit further. Your body's beginning to just relax, be at ease. Gently, gently lift that left knee back up. Right knee comes to the chest, squeeze them nice and tight and bring that forehead to the knees, curling up to that tight, tiny little ball. Neutralize our spines. Relax the neck and rock a little side to side. Give that low back a nice massage. And stopping in the center, straighten the arms and legs down the mat. Palms up. Even maybe take those glutes out from underneath you, tuck the shoulder blades underneath. With a few gentle blinks, let the eyes close. And start by taking 2 nice deep breaths, letting everything expand once more from those twists before returning back to your natural breath. Giving our bodies a nice scan to help them relax. We're going to start at our toes. Maybe give them a wiggle. And then let them just be at ease. Bring the focus to the ankles. Maybe give them a quick little roll. And then let them just hang where they may. Nice and open. As you breathe, your focus comes through the calves to the hamstrings, noticing that space underneath the knees. Breathe to the hips, noticing how they sink to that mat below, helping to ground the lower half of our bodies. Be aware of the stomach. Rise and fall with the breath. The chest also begins to rise and fall with every breath. Bring your awareness to the shoulders, nice and open, sinking to the mat below us, hoping to ground the upper half of our bodies. Breathe to the arms, through the biceps, through the forearms, even through the wrists to the fingertips, letting them just relax. Bring the focus to the jaw, making sure it's unclenched, even have the lips part slightly. Every facial muscle at ease, through the cheeks, to the forehead, even our eyelids. They're heavy, but they're not squinting. Still reaching through the crown of that head. And just allow your body and mind to simply be. Continuing to enjoy that silence, just the sound of your breath in the here and now. Very softly, wiggle your fingers and your toes, just allowing your mind to come back to your physical body. Maybe rock the head a little side to side. And reach the arms up above the head, taking a nice long body stretch. Leaving the right arm where it is, place the left hand to the stomach. Bend at the knees and just softly roll to that right side. Resting for a moment in our fetal position, maybe using the right arm as a pillow for the head. Always use this as a chance to thank yourself for dedicating a practice to opening the body, to putting your mind at ease, so you can be relaxed or even just have a nice sleep. Still with eyes closed, use those hands to help lift your way back up to a comfortable cross-legged seated position. Sitting nice and tall with those palms up over the knees, shoulders relaxed. Begin to exhale all remaining air, taking a nice deep inhale through the nose. And sigh through the mouth. Bring your palms together and rub them, creating that heat and energy of your own. Placing your palms up over the eyes, allowing your eyes to blink their way into that darkness of the palms of your hands and feel that heat and energy of your own traveling back in. Allowing your mind to rest, to settle in. And then release your hands to heart center. Namaste.